2. All right, Crossroads Sports Nation. Welcome to the crossover presented by Crossroads Sports. We're live. Sorry we had some technical difficulties there. The server was overloaded. Everybody's trying to get on, John. Everybody's trying to get their spotlight. So we're live. We're going to do a quick little crossover show. So how you been, John?
Been doing just fine, man. Wacky weather, of course, in Indiana. no shocker there. But doing just fine, man. You know, enjoying life, trying to.
Good, John. So let's dive right into it. First, let's start with some NBA. And some of the notes we have for the NBA this week. The All-Star break's getting ready to happen. But let's talk the Indiana Pacers. Indiana Pacers, we're on a losing streak, John. 6 in a row. You saw my frustration in the last week or two with you. You know, not finishing. Victor Oladipo, the mention's not there quite yet. And this team just could not finish. Myles Turner went silent. Domantas Sabonis went silent. They lost some key games that they really should have won going into All-Star break. And then they won last night. They beat the Bucks team, but they didn't have Giannis, George Hill, Korver, the Pacers killer. But right. What's your thoughts on that Pacers slide as we kind of go into this All-Star break before we start the second half?
Well, it's good they got off the schneid, right? So it's good they got the win. Mm-hmm. I think there was kind of like seems like a mandate from up high to get Victor Oladipo, you know what I'm saying, going, you know what I'm saying, faster at a pace that didn't kind of make sense, right? We had Victor out here being a spot up more like JJ Redick than what he actually is. It was kind of a slasher, you know what I'm saying, going to the basket. Some of that might be preventive so that, you know what I'm saying, you know, another bump. And we don't want Victor out another 6, 7, 8 months, you know what I'm saying? So some of it might just, some of this, you know what I'm saying, this management that they were doing with Victor Oladipo and getting him acclimated back into the team might be some of that, where they are trying to get his legs, you know what I'm saying, to be more of a jump shooter instead of somebody going to the basket who, you know what I'm saying, when you go, there's still trees in there, you know what I'm saying, when you go to the basket, they don't foul necessarily like Kurt Rambis and Kevin McHale anymore, but they still do, you know what I'm saying, nobody likes to take a hard foul, so. But that's the Victor Oladipo that we kind of want to see, the inside-out guy, not the outside inside guy. Right. So I think the Pacers kind of, you know, were stubborn with their rotation because they didn't pull Victor and automatically put in Holiday in, who's had the hot hand. They've kind of stayed patient, stayed pat to the plan. Just get Victor back into rotation, acclimation. Didn't also help with the fact that T.J. Warren missed a couple games. He's now an integral piece to the offense of the team. So they miss him. So it was good to get off the schneid. We're not really talking about Myles Turner anymore. If we get good production out of him, it's great. If it's not, you know, it's just another Myles. There's been some slumping of him, right, off the bench or whatever. Right. But he's too talented, and there's really not a deal out there. So for anybody who was thinking about this trade, why didn't they trade Myles Turner during the trade deadline? He is too talented, even though with his up and down play. And part of me thinks the Pacers know they ain't using him correctly, but I think they're trying to meet in the middle somewhere. They want him to be a consistently stretch four guy, and he's probably more suited to have some of the similar post-ups that Sabonis has. But right now, Sabonis is the hot hand. Sabonis is the all-star. So that's how I assess Myles Turner. You kind of get like, you know, if this game cannot necessarily be indicative of like what the Pacers are going to be coming out of the AllStar break. Again, like you alluded to, there's a lot of other pieces on that Milwaukee team that wasn't there. The big piece, main piece, Giannis, right? He's celebrating the birth of his child. So, right. The Pacers got to get back on the street. I feel like they do this every year when they've been under the tutelage of the coach they have right now. They go on these bizarre losing streaks where they lose to Atlanta Hawks or they lose to a Charlotte and Charlotte Hornet team that's depleted of talent, and they have more talent. So they got to get back on another. Obviously, you know what I'm saying, coming out of All-Star break, get rest up, and we need to get back on a win streak, preferably a 5-game win streak. Right. But I think the Lakers are coming to town, so that might be a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I liked last night seeing T.J. Warren finally get off the schneid, show his scoring prowess. Oladipo still getting his legs under him.
Yep.
trying to get acclimated with this team, which I don't know. Part of me was saying during this losing streak that we probably should have waited maybe till after the All-Star break to get him in, get him more acclimated with this team. But we'll see what they do coming off of this All-Star break. Luckily we only got Sabonis playing. We don't have to worry about any of the other guys playing, getting fatigued. This is kind of give them that refresh, hit that reset button, get them ready to go in and dominate this second half of the Pacers season, which they're definitely going to need to do. Right now, I think they're sitting as a 6th seed, so they've got some work to do to get back up there. I think they can get back to the 4th seed, but other than that, it's kind of going to be where they're at. I think Miami. I don't think they can catch Miami. I really don't, based on the rosters, with Miami making those moves at the trade deadline and such. So we'll still needs to finish games. They go in multiple stretches where they can't score. They struggle shooting. Some of the shots that they take, and even turnovers. I've seen some bad passes by Oladipo, McDermott. Myles playing small, and when he needs to be a little more aggressive, play big, playing down to his competition, I should say. He's playing down. He should be a lot better than some of these guys he's going up against. So another team, John, that I think needs to figure out their second unit because they can't score, and I've watched a lot of their games this year. Los Angeles Lakers, John, I picked the Lakers to win the NBA championship, but the problem is they go in very big stretches where they cannot score, they cannot shoot. They don't have a scorer on the court. Caruso's your scorer on that second unit.
You're right.
For the Lakers, when you sit there and look at what kind of pedigree does a championship team in the NBA have, they have a first unit. They got a good second unit. They come in and score. The Lakers, on paper, have it. On the court, they don't. And you're going to be running a lot of minutes with AD and LeBron, and there's going to be a time where they both can't be out there, So what's your thoughts on that? I know we kind of talked a little bit previously in text messages about the Lakers and them just going to have to find somebody to come in and help out.
Right. In a 7-game series, there's no other team equipped out west. I said out west. There's no other team out west that's equipped except for the Clippers to beat the Lakers in a 7-game series. They'll be if they have to match up against a Houston or if they have to match up against even a Dallas. Again, those are still jump shooting teams, and they don't have an AD inside. Porzingis is kind of good inside, but he's not AD good inside, right? I like the Lakers defensive. That's actually their defensive unit. Is their second unit. But they have a hard time manufacturing shots. And if LeBron ain't bricking them from three, what I'm saying? If he's shooting them, if he's stroking them for three, then it's a hard night for the opposition. For as far as getting the win. But he's not a consistent enough 3-point shooter. He kind of falls in love with it. I think this year he's kind of fell in love with it. But he's not a consistent enough 3-point shooter. But he is an all-around, probably the best basketball player out there. So his game is more impactful than just his 3-point shot, right? But it kind of puts Anthony Davis in a spot where we kind of don't know what can he do. You know what I'm saying? Last time we seen him kind of play at a high level, he was bouncing the Portland Trailblazers out of the playoffs. And then they met the Golden State Warriors. I can't remember where year. It might have been 2016, 2017 when he was one of the last couple of years he was at. It was actually the year before he set out the season with the Pelicans, man. So we haven't really seen him in a significant type of, basketball series. We've seen him in games, but I'm talking about series. So it's going to be the heavy lifting is going to be on LeBron and Anthony Davis. They can get. I think we've been spoiled. I know we have with these super teams that we've seen with Golden State, or these loaded all-star teams. We've seen that LeBron maybe send fours down in Miami. I think we kind of been spoiled that you think you have to have a 3-man all-star team instead of a 2-man all-star team. Make no mistake, that is what the Lakers are. They are a 2-man all-star team, and in the West right now, where they're gonna have the Golden State Warriors is on is in rehab, not rehab, but they're sitting on the sideline, and then the other Kevin Durant, the other superstar player in the league, is himself sitting out this season as well. It's kind of like, who else out here? The top three teams, my personal opinion: Lakers, not necessarily in this order. Lakers, Clippers, and Milwaukee Bucks. Those are the top two. Those are the top three teams in the NBA. The Lakers will be fine going through the rest of the season. To win a championship, they will learn how to manufacture points. I don't know if that's Kyle Kuzma. Say Kyle Kuzma is kind of a guy. I was talking about him earlier today. Kyle Kuzma is a guy that against mid-level talent or talent that's equally, in age group or even talent level as him, man, he's always has killer games. He even has killer games against the Clippers. Problem is, man, when he has to play James Harden or defend one of those, what Houston he was terrible against. Portland he was terrible against. Plus minus is terrible. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying the championship hopes of the Lakers depends on Kyle Kuzma solely. I just told you the heavy lifting is Anthony Davis. The heavy lifting is LeBron James. But Kyle Kuzma has that talent base that we can see that we know, hey man, you can do some heavy lifting too, bud. But the consistency when it comes to a level up of competition, it's just not there just yet. Maybe it's a confidence thing, I don't know. But they need to figure. If he figures it out, the Lakers have a smoother sailing to the title.
Yeah. How about Darren Collison just deciding, hey, you know what? Thanks, but no thanks to both LAs.
If they both want him to be a playmaker so that it can take. So he was going to have to think about it. This was not going to be a coast. A lot of people think, he can sit out the half the season. He was going to coast. I don't think this is going to be a coast thing. Again, I don't know championship level basketball teams that coast. You know what I'm saying? So I don't. It would have been a $2 million pickup. You know what I'm saying? He's not looking for anything stressful. I don't think. You know what I'm saying? With the damage to Brandon, we both know because we both follow the Pacers. He probably could have signed between a $25 and $30 million contract. Either with the Pacers, based on his stats from last year and what he's kind of put together. He put up a solid 2 years to get with the Pacers. And it's just the knees kind of, went south on him. So I think it's legit. I think if he had to go, he had signed with the Clippers. Why not start him? You know what I'm saying? Getting back in shape. Why he's better than Patrick Beverly offensively, but then I didn't really come here to start. I came here to be support. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Go to the Lakers. Yeah, they're gonna take the ball out of LeBron's hands now. And then when you're on the floor with LeBron, man, we look for that thing. But dude, he's probably going to be looked upon. It's going to be a lot of pressure. And I'm not saying a guy like Darren Collison can't handle pressure. I've seen him in some great games in the Pacers uniform. Never a great game in the Kings uniform or Dallas uniform in a couple of years. Say when he bounced around the league, but always seems he has some great games in the Pacers uniform. But if the body can't do, what the mind wants you to, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why he set out. I think it was going to be too much of a stress for him to. I mean, I really do. On his body, on his mind. I don't know if you join either squad. So here we are. Darren Collison going to set out.
All right. All-Star Weekend, like we said this weekend, they're changing up some of the stuff with the three-point contest, adding a 4-point shot. The dunk contest is staying the same with 4 guys. The All-Star Game, a lot of tributes to Kobe and Gianna. Your thoughts on All-Star Weekend? All-Star Saturday Night used to be a awesome vintage thing back in the day. It's kind of lost its lacklusterness over the years. Is this something you still look forward to?
I'll most definitely watch it because anything for Kobe Bryant, right? But I definitely still kind of want to see the dunk contest. I'm still that guy that wants to see something. Some guy was bitching. He was on the radio this morning about, have we seen all the dunks? Yeah, man. Yeah, you just mad you can't do the dunks. I can't do the dunks either. But no, we have not seen all the dunks, man. I always now have the format of the dunk contest is. You know what I'm saying? That is how that is processed. That's probably, the issue. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to see what's my guy? He had they gave him 5 times to try to dunk, and it was when he was playing for the Knicks. I can't remember the guy, little short guy.
Nate Robinson.
Yeah, thank you. Nate Robinson. That was the most horrible dunk contest, even though he's an amazing dunker, to watch him dunk, right? Because he's only 5 foot whatever, But the format, everything, that whole show was off. They gave him too many times, right? But no, man. And then the 3-point contest, I don't know. We'll see what this 4-pointer is or whatever. But the 3-point contest, I'm always glued in by excellent shooting. Ever since Larry Bird put up the number one, I've always been. I mean, how could you not? So the game, the AllStar Game, I'd rather watch the XFL.
Oh, okay. Okay. Damn. Yeah, I agree. I'll watch it. I look forward to it every year.
Shout out to Larry.
Okay, shout out Larry.
Larry
legend.
That's how you hardcore. Anyway, go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Dunk contest will be always good, to see. I wish they get some fresh faces in instead of Dwight Howard, Aaron Gordon. Kind of tired of that.
Yeah.
But 3-point contest, yeah, I was. You know what, man? I'm still a little bummed Reggie Miller never won a 3-point contest. He got in there, had a few years where he got close, but Harold Miner knocked him off one year.
On accident.
Yeah, man, no, it's enjoyable. I've been watching on NBA TV this week, John, last 2 weeks, actually. Michael's last one. The other night, they had the 1997 one at the Alamo Dome where they wore those turquoise uniforms. Very awesome, cool uniforms. For that, they showed Kobe and Jordan going at it. There was a lot. I've totally forgot Brad Miller and Jermaine O'Neal were both All-Stars as the Pacers. Both of them.
Yep.
Together. So, yeah. Kobe did. Michael Jordan started out 0 for 7 shooting in his last game in the All-Star game.
They was forcing it to Jordan that game. They was.
Yeah. But, no, I look forward to it. I'll tune in on the Sunday night for the game. I'll be watching that, and I'll be watching also Daytona 500. So it's NASCAR is opening up this weekend. So they got a qualifying race here tonight. So should be good there. Always good to gamble in sports bet with the NASCAR. Yeah. By the way, just so people know on the sports betting side, you can bet on the All-Star itself. You cannot. They will not. Indiana and Vegas. You cannot bet on the slam dunk contest. Do you know why, John?
This fan
because it's celebrity judges who can set the outcome and can do that. So due to the integrity of it, they do not allow for betting for the slam dunk contest. So, real quick, one thing I have on MLB, baseball might be changing their playoff format, adding some teams to the playoffs, but also the fact that they may even add a wording where the best team in each league can choose. They'll get a bye, but then they can choose which team they want to face. Like it's a prime time, a 30-minute show. Hey, who are you choosing to play? I don't like it.
Baseball's trying to get younger audience with this hokiness. And so they just throw this out and want to see what sticks. The problem with it is baseball is very traditionalist. So like all this hokiness sounds like exactly what it is, hokiness, right? Brandon, I got a problem, man, and I'm gonna need probably Tyler to come on the podcast here real soon, man, because explain something to me. And I know you will. I know you're very good at explaining things too when it comes to baseball. But thing about baseball, man, is like it's very hypocritical. Very hypocritical, man. I don't understand teams. The whole cheating scandal is still like a rolling thing. Guys are suing guys now, and the guys are not talking to one another now. So like, what is the resolution? I mean, like, I still like want to know the end result as far as that is concerned. And then over here, because the way the sign of the times, this is my personal opinions, right? Pete Rose, experienced what we all saw. I think it's somewhat of a correlation. Pete Rose kind of saw the tragedy that happened with Kobe Bryant. Like nobody wants, like you want to give one more last ditch effort to see if you can, like, but it doesn't make sense, Brandon. Like everybody cheats in baseball at some point. It seems like everybody, every era has some form of cheating. It's like they say in NASCAR that you alluded to, if you cheating, they ain't trying, right? But I don't think they didn't do that much cheating in NASCAR than they do in baseball. Go ahead,
John. The pitchers were cheating just as much as the batters were. Roger Clemens was cheating just as much as Barry Bonds. So I think the record should stand for both of them because
Well,
that's just part of the sport. Then was cheating.
I'm not here to. But here's the thing: they try to say they run a clean sport, though.
They don't. That's a problem in Major League Baseball. It started with Bug Selig. It's ran on to Rob Manfred. The man hasn't made how many since this cheating investigation? He hasn't made a calling yet on the Red Sox. He's one of those guys, John, that goes into his office and his secretary's sitting right there. And here's your messages for the day, Mr. Manfred. He looks at it, he goes, Astros cheating scandal, Red Sox decision. Well, let's just pass on that for today. Let's try it again tomorrow. He walks in the next day. Guess what? Secretary gives him papers. Astros cheating scandal. Red Sox. Make a decision. Stick with it. The problem with Major League Baseball I have, and I've gotten in trouble for this on Twitter.
Don't get in trouble.
They do not let you they don't let you share their content. They have a baseball media rights where you're not allowed to share a home run. You're not allowed to post and share a significant snag without getting a strike against you for copyright infringement. Major League Baseball is so far behind the MLB, the NBA. They're not growing their sport. You're going to grow their sport.
Well,
you get a 12, 13, 14-year-old on Twitter, social media. Look at that amazing catch, but you can't do it because you know why? They want to hold it to one stupid account of MLB. That's where the problem is.
I get what they're trying to do with this holiness, right? But they need to do something different kind of holiness. Again, it kind of bothers me, as I think it did bother Pete Rose. He's like, man, hold on. I got held out, and I've been held out for over 30-some years now, and we had whole teams trying to cheat one another, telling each other signs or whatnot or whatever, and like everybody was like, it's okay. It was a slap on the wrist. It's okay. It's gonna go. It's water under the bridge. But I don't think that's the case, man. The other thing I want to talk about is like the Madden exit out of from the Cubs, man. Saying I thought it was all gonna be lovey dovey, and it doesn't seem like it's lovey dovey.
With Joe Madden, no.
With Joe Madden, yeah. Doesn't seem like it's lovey dovey. Doesn't look like he's super pissed, but doesn't seem lovey dovey.
He's with the Angels now. I think they got a good. Angels will be better this year, possibly make the playoffs. By the way, my Cincinnati Reds, they're predicted right now to finish first or second in the NL Central. So they're putting a squad together right now that it's going to be pretty good this year. Good. So, hey, speaking of baseball, John, 6, 9. How about NBA? If you had to guess, how many MLB baseball players currently right now in the league are from or born in Indiana?
Born in Indiana?
Yep.
I'm gonna say 10.
18.
Oh wow. They actually got a pretty good baseball program up in Indiana State. I don't know if any of them from that 18 is from Indiana State, but they got a pretty good baseball up in Indiana State.
Yeah. So does
nobody gives no love, but go ahead.
I mean, the high school, Brownsburg. Brownsburg's a hotbed. Little League Baseball. Okay. Tucker Barnhart, catcher for the Reds. Lance Lynn's another one. Kyle Gett. He went to Greenfield just down the road here. A couple guys went to Terre Haute North. Jeff Samardzija, he went to Maryville and Valpo and played football also for Notre Dame. Clayton Richard, good friend of trying to get him on the show. Going to work on getting Clayton Richard on the show. Lafayette, he's a pitcher for the Blue Jays with the Lafayette McCutcheon. So, but yeah, baseball in Indiana, very, very, very cool.
Very cool.
A lot of guys. Mm-hmm. So, John, a couple of last things I have. College basketball. The big game was this past Sunday. Indiana Hoosier or Saturday, not Sunday.
Yeah, Saturday.
Indiana Hoosiers, Purdue Boilermakers. Indiana, John, you got Bob Knight coming back. This is the game. You're going to knock the doors down. You're going to get them going, and then you get the doors blown off of you.
The doors blown off. It wasn't even a close game, man. These games supposed to be close. These games supposed to be like for the state rival state. You know what I'm saying? You was the best in the state of Indiana. Did any of those guys that Archie Miller recruit?
What?
Did he recruit them based on that type of love for the state of Indiana and this? You know what I'm saying? If you recruit based upon what you recruit, if you're recruiting NBA guys that dude, I can develop you. You're an on fringe guy. I can develop you and get. Look what I did for Victor. Not Victor Oladipo. He wasn't there. Look what I did for whatever guy that he did for in Dayton. Right? I can do for you. This is how he pitches it. So they don't have this deep-seated, and guess what? What's on the bench? There's not a whole lot of former Indiana guys on that bench to preach that same kind of philosophy. We look at Purdue. So it's really not, for me, it's like a no-brainer. Who's Purdue coached by? A former player. How many other assistants is on that Purdue, friend of the show, right? How many other assistants is on that roster? Helping, you know what I'm saying, to keep things traditional, to keep things that Katie showed them how to, and to, you know what I'm saying, because guess what? Gene Katie, he was at the game. He's a daggone basketball genius damn self. He just ain't got the national title, you know what I'm saying, to back it up, to stamp it.
Right.
But believe me, he's the Big Ten championships that he won in the 90s, 3 in a row, I do believe, at one point. Yeah, shoot, IU would take that in the heartbeat today, you know. But all that being said, the way they're running their programs, there really should be no shock. I still thought, in my heart of hearts, I think I did take Purdue. I thought the game would still be tighter, still be closer, because some of those kids are Indiana kids. They ain't there based off that Indiana, Purdue, or anything about IU from the past. They're not there for that, you know. That's unfortunate, because now we got to do a whole nother year. You know what I'm saying? What's going to happen next year with Archie? Who we getting in next year, Archie? Are we getting a McDonald's All-American? What's going on? You know, but I think right now, man, IU, it's nothing. I don't want IU fans to start pissing in their Cheerios. You know, say, because they have had some signature wins this year. It feels like Art Miller owns Michigan State. He's got them in his back pocket. He's got them on speed dial. You know what I mean? Whenever he needs, you know, Michigan State a win, he pulls Michigan State out of his ear, right? But there's been some games like this IU game this Purdue game where that's not what's expected when you play a rivalry game. So he's got some work to do. He's got some work to do tonight. He's looking at some must wins. He's looking at coming up in the rest of the Big Ten schedule. He's also looking at probably a must win, at least a one win in the Big Ten tournament. The great thing about it is here's a way to put a spin of positivity on it. He's got a good enough team that can do everything that I just said. Can he put these kids in the right positions, right? Because we know they are woeful at shooting from outside, right? But there are some things that they run real well, and they can't get down in big games just because they're down 10 points. You can't. Like if you want postseason play that does not say NIT behind it, you know what I'm saying? So you can play in front of these NBA scouts or G League scouts, whomever, right, or international scouts, right? You have to dig a little deeper, and that's what IU's going to have to do. They're going to have to dig a little deeper.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a good game by Purdue. A few things, John, before we go. I got a phone call I have to end up taking here shortly. So
that's all good.
Some of the comments out there on the IU page I thought was comical. Poor performance on such an inspirational day. Pitiful. It was awesome to see coach night with the former players. This team has no business in the NCAA tournament. Soft and sloppy, doesn't get it done. Bring back Bobby. He could coach 10 times better than Archie. Dane Fife, bring him in. How do you lose this game? Disappointing. Wake the hell up. He has no business coaching in the Big Ten. Great job, Archie. Just glad baseball starts in 6 days. Look at the body language. I don't get it. How can these players not get up for this game? So a lot of problems down in Bloomington. So
if they beat,
other than that, John,
if they beat Iowa tonight, there will be no more problems. There'll be no problems for the next 48 hours.
Absolutely. So, all right, folks. Well, we had a few other things, but we got to wrap up here. We had a 30-minute show tonight. Thanks for joining. We'll be on next week with a radio show and maybe a crossover show.
Talk to you later.
See ya.